Everybody, welcome to Jackson Municipal Podcast Series. We have Marcus Cheatham of Ward 2 in the building. First question: what life experiences have shaped the way you lead or make decisions?
First off, Ray, let's talk. How you doing?
I'm good.
All right, I'm Marcus Cheatham, running for Ward 2 City Council. I'm with the Ward 2 candidate, Ward 5 candidate, Ray McCann.
Correct.
So he's also going to be running. So, okay. So now you can ask your questions. We've got all the pleasantries out of the way.
Right on. I
Introductions and things
appreciate
like
it.
that. Okay, let's go.
What life experiences have shaped the way you lead and make decisions?
What life experiences? So I was in the military for 31 years. So that was a life in itself. So coming in as a 17-year-old and getting out as a 49-year-old, I learned a lot. Beginning as an enlisted and then as an officer, I was one rank below the rank of general. It's taught me execution, planning, organizing, structure, things of that nature. So, yeah, my experiences in the military has taught me a lot.
Thank you. When was the last time you had to admit you were wrong about something, and how did you handle it?
That's a hard question. So, I guess I'm wrong about a lot of things pretty often. I really don't want to talk about negatives, but when was the last time I was wrong? I guess maybe the color of my shirt, maybe. I always get, hey, you wear blue too much, maybe. So yeah, okay. So no, but seriously, last time I was wrong, and I can't. I'm sure I'm wrong all the time, but just one instance just does stand out. We'll come back to that question about that.
Who in your life has had the biggest impact on your values and the way you see the world?
That's a broad question. There's a lot of people that have had a big influence on my life. I have a mentor as I was going through the military by the name of Easter. He was one of my biggest mentors. I have a lot of heroes, folks I looked up to. My father, my uncle, Walter Thomas Cheatham. Believe it or not, Frank Milton. I don't know, are you old enough to know who Frank Milton was?
I am.
Yeah, he was the mayor of Jackson. That was one of the biggest people. But that's a lot of people. A lot of people. I can't just name just one. I don't want to offend anybody by doing that. So I've got a lot.
What's a challenge you face that changed the way you approach problem solving?
Challenge I faced that changed the way I do problems. So this candidacy, it's a challenge. It's a challenge that I can say that beat me in October, and now I'm back again. So a whole different way of doing business, whole different approach. I'm a little bit more knowledgeable on how to do things. So just taking it in a different direction. But yeah.
If you weren't running for office, what's something you'd be doing to help your community?
So baseball, Boys Baseball Association, Grove Park. It's coming back here in the next couple weeks, actually, with the spring coming around. Baseball season is in the air. If I wasn't running, and even though I am, I'm still locking into that arena as well. But baseball, getting back to the park, youth. The youth is the biggest thing. I want to make sure we shape our future.
What inspired you to run for city council, and what's the first issue you want to tackle if elected?
I've always wanted to be in public office. I had a pastor, Horace Buckley. He was a state representative, and when I was a little child, I always thought that was one of the coolest things anyone could ever do. And I've always, had that in the back of my mind that was something that I wanted to do. Um, First thing that I would change is infrastructure. As I ride through the city of Jackson, streets just are not what they need to be. There's a lot of things we need to do. I say we, not just one individual, one group. We as a holistic group of people, um, you know, try to get everything together and try to get the roads, the streets, bridges, and everything back to where they need to be.
If you had to make tough budget decisions, how would you prioritize spending to make sure that the people of Jackson get the services they need?
If I had to prioritize, definitely would be based on need. Need is the first thing. So, what's the most important? What's the most critical thing that needs to happen? What needs to change? Um, and that's how I would prioritize. Go from the worst, to the um, least neglected. I'll say it like that.
How will you stay connected with the community and make sure people feel heard even after election season is over?
Well, I'll definitely still be in the, just around doing, community service things of that nature. Win, lose, or draw, I want to be a Philadelphia community. I want to give back, so win, lose, or draw, I'll still be doing, you know, requests. People ask all the time, hey, can you do this? Green Elementary School is one of the ones that reached out to me, and we have a good relationship. And they were like, hey, Mr. Cheatham, sometimes we need a male figure. Hey, at all times, give me a call. So I want to be accessible to the community and be available for those that need.
How will you support the jobs and businesses that are already here?
Support the jobs and businesses that are already here. Um, Support in what way?
As far as any endeavors or initiatives to be sure that their economic imprint is not, passed upon or forgotten in other new developments that come
So
in.
so yeah, so I would definitely, especially for Ward Two, make sure that whatever business needs within reason to help the community and to help the business thrive, and that's what we will focus on. So whatever's needed to help them succeed, again within reason.
What do you think the biggest challenge when it comes to crime and infrastructure in Jackson? How do you plan on being a part of the solution?
So as a city councilman, being a part of that solution is being a part of the budget solution. So I'm not going to tell you that I'm going to put a Superman cape on, go out there and eradicate crime. We have crime fighters out there. We have law enforcement. We have the sheriff's department, JPD, state police, things like that. Um, that's their position. My position is to make sure they have the tools necessary, technology to fight crime. Crime, and I tell people all the time, they look at me, it's not going anywhere. Every day somebody, a criminal is crafting a different way to, do dirt or do devilment. So we can only, do what we can from a city council perspective and make sure that they have the tools, technology.
What specific policies or ordinances do you plan to introduce or advocate for that will directly benefit the
Right,
residents of Jackson?
right. So the blight program. So that's one thing, and I still haven't developed the clear cut solution for that. But I'd like to develop something that addresses the blight program because, in my mind, because of our real estate background, uh, maybe putting the cart before the horse. That's kind of an easy solution from what I see. I hear people come to me all the time and say, "Hey, we got a bad blight problem. What can we do?" So yeah, I tell people all the time, you got to be careful about just saying, "Hey, let's go knock that house down," because it doesn't belong to you. You don't own it. So it's kind of a hard process, but there is a process you have to go through. And actually, I'm trying to put together something now that kind of spells that out for people. Um, but the blight program is the biggest one. That's what I would try to reintroduce, and again, working with other municipalities, state funding, federal funding, things of that nature to try to help get that taken care of.
What with the city's budget constraints, how do you plan to ensure that resources are allocated effectively while maintaining essential services and addressing community needs?
That's a good question because I don't sit in the seat and I don't have an idea what the purse looks like. I'll have to table that question. But again, like your earlier question, we're to prioritize first to make sure that we take care of what's in worse shape, what's really, really needed, and those that could be passed on for a couple months, whatever, we'll do that. But we'll prioritize and make sure that funding is available for what we can do.
What strategies will you implement to ensure transparency in your decision making?
Be transparent. What strategy? I mean, you really don't have to have a strategy if you're talking about transparency. Everything that I do, it's above board. No backdoor deals or anything like that. Um, just be an open book. I mean, we sit in the seat for that purpose to be an open book. I don't know why it's so hard. I guess I'm an outsider looking in, but I can't understand why it's so hard. Just be transparent. Let people know what's going on, what's happening. Now, I will say this: that a lot of people sometimes don't understand. If you tell them the truth, they don't understand what you're trying to tell them. Um, but for the most part, just be transparent and open and honest about what's going on.
What is your vision for economic growth and job creation in Jackson?
So, as you know, we shot a video the other day and we talked about economic identity. So, Jackson does not, Jackson Ward 2 does not have an economic identity yet. So that will be my biggest task of trying to figure out what it is that we can bring to the table, what works best for Ward 2. So, I would love for Lake Hyco, that area, to kind of have a business flavor. So we don't have that the lakes anymore. So that's just open ground. Of course, it's school property that can be leased. But I'd love to put something together or partner with some business folks and bring some ideas to the table to bring jobs to Jackson. Now you do have the Amazon plant that's coming on board here shortly, right across the highway 402 over on County Line Road. So hopefully we can kind of piggyback on that and bring some businesses that cater to the Amazon plant. Hopefully that'll bring a number of jobs as well for us. So like I said earlier, working with other municipalities. So Madison, Ridgeland is there. It's not Jackson, but if we could help them help us, then it's a win-win.
How do you plan to address key issues such as crime reduction, infrastructure improvements, and overall public safety to enhance the quality of life for residents?
That was a three-part question, man.
Well, focusing more so on the quality of life for residents improvement.
Quality of life, I just want to clean it up. Clean up, like I say, infrastructure. I think is the key to it. If we focus on the infrastructure, beautification, essential services, and things like that, I think we're back. Um, but a lot of it ties in. We just talked about economic development, things of that nature. So you need that as well to make it more appealing. So you got to bring jobs back too. So, but I would start with beautifying the area, cleaning up areas, removing blighted properties, things of that nature, just to get Jackson back to the days of old.
Is there anything that you want to leave the people with that we didn't get a chance to talk about?
Yeah, I just want to talk, man. You got me hit me with all these questions, and it's just yeah. So I guess I got a question for you. Oh, you don't want to answer. Okay. We'll save.
Ask the
We'll,
question.
okay, Ray McCann. So tell us about you. Because I'm sure more than just Ward 2 is going to be on my live. So tell us about Ward 5 and why you think you're the guy. So let me be the interviewer now. So yeah, okay.
Okay, so my name is Ray McKence. Looking to be your city councilman for Ward 5 in the city of Jackson. My vision is that I believe Ward 5 is not only the heart of Jackson, but also Jackson's gold mine. Ward 5 maintains most, if not most of the assets that Jackson offers, and we don't utilize those. We talk about not having enough money in Jackson, but we don't collect the revenue from the assets that we do have. So, my vision is getting behind the businesses that we have, using the spaces that are unutilized or abandoned to bring in new businesses and industries, and empowering our communities to bring back the pride of Ward 5 in the city of Jackson. So, on June 3rd, Make sure you go to the polls and you vote Raymond Kent's City Council, Ward 5.
All right, so you're running as a independent, Democrat, Republican, tell people.
I'm running as an independent. Um, I am running as an independent because I am an individual citizen in the city of Jackson. Uh, my views are mostly Democrat, but my duties is to serve the citizens of Ward 5 in their interests.
All right, well said, well said.
Thank you.
I have a question for both.
Okay, okay.
For you, Mr. Marcus, give us an example how big your ward actually is.
Okay, so and I was just kind of going through this last night. Actually, I'm putting a flyer out in the next couple of days that kind of addresses all the different neighborhoods, associations, and things like that. So I'm North Jackson. I was in church today that was right on the opposite side of Northside Drive. So if you're north of Northside Drive, 9 times out of 10, you're going to Ward 2. So we have a small portion of Queens, Magnolia, Queens area. We got Presidential Hills. We've got Shell Rock, Ashley Acres. We have Richwood, Woodley, Woodhaven, Lakeover. We have the Cedars of Lebanon area, Tougaloo. And I think that's kind of, I was generalizing, but in those areas, or if you're close to those areas, then definitely that's part of Ward 2. But again, north of Northside Drive, kind of north, northwest, Northside Drive, Tougaloo, going all the way to President Street.
So another question, and I don't know if this is a part of you guys, and because we put so much on you guys, and when you running for something, we want to just dump everything on you guys. Got one question. Well, it's a two-part question, but my first thing is because some of the homeless people get brought in, but we have so many homeless people in North Jackson. Is that you, or do you help with that? I know the mayor, I mean, we put so much on him or whatever. How can we help even with the homeless people, maybe finding them somewhere to go, or explain that to us? What can you do to help with that?
What can I do to help with that? As a city councilman, I'm sure there will be some programs and plans that will be on the table that we'll have to vote on. We do have a problem with homelessness. I was listening to one candidate, and he was speaking about a lot of the, what do you call them, the nonprofits. Kind of the success of some of the nonprofits are kind of the detriment to Jackson. So nonprofits are doing everything in their power to bring funding to help the homelessness, but also in their success, the homeless individuals, they are just kind of just soaking up all the benefits of that, but not giving anything back. So my plan would be, or an approach we would take is probably to it's this for that. We give you a plate, you give us an hour of community service or something like that. Because right now, and again, I'm taking it from a candidate. This is not mine, but it's just something he said. We're making it too comfortable for them, so Absolutely. They have no responsibilities or whatever. They just they can get 3-4 meals a day, place to lay their heads, get up the next day and do whatever it is they want to. I've seen people get a plate, eat the plate, and then throw the trash right on the ground. So I think we should definitely look into a program like that. Again, a lot of the nonprofits are doing a really, really good job of taking care of the homeless, but the homeless needs to do their part and help out as well. So.
Okay. I got a question for Mr. I got a question for you. Actually, I got two. He's answered one of his, and we're gonna come back because we have another part with yours. But with you first, tell me how big your ward is, where your ward goes.
So my ward goes from up Gallatin Street, down
Ward 5.
Right, Ward 5. Yes, so Ward 5 goes up Gallatin Street around the Capitol to 220, back down 220 back to Bobby Rush Boulevard. It goes up around Robinson, come down to Robinson all the way around to McDowell Road Extension, comes back up to Raymond Road down to University, down Terry Road to the Alta Vista area and back up to University Strip till you get to Gallatin.
Oh wow, you have mostly like the heart of Jackson,
The
huh?
heart of Jackson.
The heart, and that's big for us. But one question we have is big with homeless, like I asked Mr. Mark.
Mm-hmm.
But those kids, I used to work at Mission 1st,
Mm-hmm.
and they're real big with this, a non-for-profit too, also. But they're limited. They're around the corner from Jackson State. Tell me, what's your plan with the kids, or do
Okay.
you?
So my plan for the kids is to first maximize the opportunities that we do have for them. It's a lot of programs that struggle to get kids to get the information about that they exist and getting them to the building. Transportation is a major issue as well in the communities. So utilizing the assets that we got, whether it's the community centers, the programs that already exist, the after school programs, the art center programs that's there, making sure that our kids have accessibility to get to them, and then making sure that the funding is there to keep them up to par. So in short, that's the first start of working with the kids. The second thing is asking the kids what they want to do. You know, if it needs more art programs, if we need music, if we need sports, you know.
And we're real big in sports because we do have Jackson State with our football, but we have a lot of artsy, we have a lot of drama, and well, other schools are kind of in the drama program or whatever, but we have a lot of kids with fashion and all that.
Hmm.
But one more thing with the homeless, how can you help with the homeless in Ward Five?
So due to my job, I'm very tied into the continuum of care. Uh, and it's working with the continuum of care to change the narrative of how many people they service to getting them from being homeless to being in stable living conditions. So that's the conversation I have with the agencies that serve the homeless. Right now, understanding their angle is to make sure that they reach their numbers to service the grant. And that's almost like a cancerous situation because if you are being a solution oriented nonprofit in the homeless space, that means you are losing the amount of people that you can service.
Mhm.
So we have to be able to get the continuum of care to understand that it's okay if we are getting less homeless people off, we getting homeless people off the streets, and that it'll be other opportunities for them to service other people in the community in some capacity.
Okay, all right. Um, let's go. Okay, because I was gonna get you started, baby.
Okay. Well, we could. I mean, we could.
Y'all can continue in the
Yeah, we could
front, but
continue.
I
Well,
got it.
can she just ask her last question? Oh, you said you had a second part question.
Hmm.
Okay.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
Okay.
Your second question would be because we talked about the homeless. I'm so sorry, but remember we have a lot of kids even in those communities, man. Like, what can we do to help? Even with the community centers, I think in our last podcast we only had one in Jackson.
I don't. I don't know. I'm sure we got a couple. I'm not sure exactly where they are because they're only open sporadically. So,
Okay.
but I'll say that's a true statement. But okay, we got one. So
I thought that's and it could be
I
more.
mean,
I
it's
think.
like he
I'm
said,
sure.
it's more than one, but when they're open, is definitely a thing. We got Champions, we have Sykes, we have
Okay.
uh, Grove Park Community Center, but like he said, when they're open, it's more so the issue. So.
Okay. You mentioned Grove Park in your interview. Tell me more. I know it's baseball. What other things can we provide at Grove Park for our babies?
Grove Park. So they have a tennis court that's being redone. They also have pickleball. I have to laugh when I say pickleball. A lot of us older individuals don't know what that is. Smaller version of tennis. Again, baseball, golf, things of that nature. But what I would like to see, especially at the community center, is and we talked about this, or I was talking about this with somebody the other day, a hospitality um, program, because I go to a lot of restaurants and things like that, or fast food, and just hospitality, just knowing what's what. And also, I'd like to see business classes given to you because I think a lot of people, a lot of kids, because they see the YouTubers, overnight sensations, and things like that, and I call them the microwave age. I think it's just everybody wants to snap their fingers and it's I'm a millionaire,
Mm-hmm.
and that doesn't always work. So or resonate with everybody. So I think people need to understand truly what it is like to balance a checkbook, understand what it's truly like to build a business, to pay bills and things like that. I just think we're missing that. So not only the sports, but hospitality and business classes. I'd like to see these
Okay. Well, I thank you for coming on.
people. Okay.
Uh, and be sure y'all go out there and vote on April 1st. I appreciate it.
All right.